Hi there and welcome to episode 10 of my incredible series, What Am I Listening To and Why? I can first of all say a huge thank you to everyone who listened to, watched last week's show and shared it and stuff. We had loads of views and let's keep that going, and whatever you did last week, do it again this week because that was fantastic. I've got a bit of a sore throat today, so if I sound weird, that's it. New thing, Spotify, I'm creating the playlists. Everything we talk about today will be on a playlist so that you can go straight to Spotify and listen to, and I'll put the link to that up there in the descriptions. The show is the same as it was last week. The last 6 records on my turntable. I'm going to bring each one up and talk honestly from the heart about each one for 2 minutes. See what you think. Take it or leave it, good or bad. First up on the turntable right now, it's going to say Curtis Blow. It's Curtis Mayfield, singer of the, God, what was his band? Sort of Motown, Impressions. Singer of the Impressions, Curtis Mayfield. This is in 1970. This is his first solo album, Curtis, and I love him. I think listening to Curtis is like listening to the musical wing of the Black Panthers. He doesn't sugar the pill at all. If he's got something to say, he says it. I mean, I like Marvin Gaye, but I think he sugars the pill. Curtis Blow. Curtis Mayfield does not sugar the pill. He just he says it as it is, and this is fantastic, funky, psychedelic, soul-y. It's all. Oh, that's amazing. I've never opened that up before. It's all in there. Standout track is We People Who Are Darker Than Blue, which is just a fucking mind-blowing piece of civil rights stuff. It doesn't get any better than that. It's incredibly powerful. We all know Move On Up. I'm kind of tired of hearing that, but everything on here is really, really fucking strong, and I'd highly recommend it. This record, for me, Curtis, 1970, he came to a very sticky end. A lighting rig fell on him and he ended up paralysed from the neck down, but still made records. How awful. Anyway, this is a belter. This is the musical wing of the Black Panthers. 1970, and it's just a solid 8 all the way. Number 2 on the turntable is, I don't know what you can think about this, Adamant, Friend or Foe, from, oh my god, I haven't checked the year of this, hold on. 1982, Adamant, Friend or Foe. This is his first album without the ants. Did it matter? I don't really think it did. I think he would have, this is what he would have done anyway. Now look, I'm not a huge fan of Adam and the Ants. This is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It's quirky. I managed to listen to it twice without going, oh fuck. It's a little bit nauseating at times. It's a little bit music hall. I mean, it does do that a wee bit. But there's some interesting songs on here. He seems to be writing about a flagging career. Crackpot History and The Right to Lie, Made of Money. Both those songs are kind of what it's like to be a failed pop star. Bearing in mind that at that point, Adamant was not a failed pop star. He was still fucking massive, but he was just about to be a failed pop star, in a sense. So he was kind of like shaping his own destiny by writing about things that were just about to happen. How can you be so big and then be so nothing all of a sudden? I don't know. It seems to happen that when your light shines that brightly, Bros, ergo many other bands, it's hard to sustain it. But is this any good? Do you know what? I wouldn't be rushing for it, but it's a fuck of a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Marco Perrone plays some good guitar, and there's some good sort of Spanish bits of playing. There's a track called Man Called Marco, which is a nice little instrumental at the end. It's a 5, but a good 5. Record number 3 is actually, I discovered later, it's more of an EP than an album. This is Patrick Fitzgerald with his, didn't check the date again. I'm not sure when this was made, but this is his, it's a collection of demos by Patrick Gerald Patrick Fitzgerald called Paranoid Ward. Now Patrick Fitzgerald, if you've never heard of him, he popped up back in early punk days as the punk with the acoustic guitar and no band. He had a famous song called, I think it was I stuck a safety pin in the Queen's heart, or no, safety pin's the Queen's heart. Safety pin through my heart, I think it was called. And we all knew that song, and we all really, really loved it, and we liked it. And apparently he went on to have a kind of career. And then sort of Billy Bragg, I don't know, Billy Bragg maybe stole his thunder. He might probably disagree with that. But I would say if Billy Bragg was Bob Dylan, then Patrick Fitzgerald is Phil Oakes. Take what you want out of that. But I really like this. It's a collection of demos. It starts off with a band track, and it's all really well recorded. And then the sort of the second 2/3 of the album are cassette recorded tapes of acoustic songs. But don't let that put you off. It's still really good. It's touching. The songs are fun, and I like his voice, and I like that kind of Cockney acoustic thing. I kind of like it. So there you go. Patrick Fitzgerald, The Paranoid Ward. I would give this a good 7. Definitely give it a listen on the Spotify thing when I put it up there. 7. Record. Record number 4. Now, this is from 1982. The Violent Femmes, their second album, Hallowed Ground. I don't know if you know this band or not, but they're a kind of folk indie, American folk indie crossover, if you can imagine such a thing. I would call this record the worst of both worlds. I've listened to it a lot this week to try and get with it, but basically, I just find it fucking annoying. None of it is convincing to me. The folk is not convincing, the indie is not convincing, the crossover is not convincing, and I absolutely hate the singer's voice. They kick it off trying to do their own version of a kind of country murder ballad, Louvin Brothers style. I get that, but I just don't buy into this. It's nasally, it's whiny, it's desperate to get onto college radio, and it probably did. The further this thing goes on, the more irritated I am by it. But I did listen to it all the way through at least 3 times. Jesus Walking on the Water is a good song, and it's fun to listen to, definitely, but I think that fun would wear pretty thin. I don't know if they're still going or they're not still going. The one great thing I could say about this record is I got it for nothing because a guy in a shop, when I was buying a different record, had this sitting on the counter, and he accidentally picked up both and put both of them in the bag. I had no idea until I got home, and I pulled it out and I went, Violent Femmes album? Still, it's given me little to no pleasure, and I will not be going to it anytime soon. It's annoying, and I would give it a 4, maybe 3.5, but I'm biased. Record number 5. Oh, I've taken the lid down there, I don't know. That looks better. Record number 5 is, well, here we go. 1982, everything's 1982 this week, so sorry. 1982, A Flock of Seagulls' first album. Now, there is nothing that defines the 80s more than A Flock of Seagulls. The hair, you'll know that. You remember the hair, the thing, right? Yeah. This band were defined by a haircut, which is a disaster. I'm not saying that this record is a disaster. It isn't. It has some good bits. It's very 80s. Quite like the guitar playing in it, but it's plagued by the kind of drum beat that Zig Zig Sputnik would go on to use. It removes any weight from any of the songs, that kind of drum beat. But anyway, it's there. Side 2 is a hell of a lot better than side 1, and it's actually got some deeper, slightly darker songs. But they did well in America. They did okay in the UK. In America, they were a big band. In the UK, they were a meh band. The haircut, I'm trying to remember what's the name of the guy. I can't remember the name of the singer. Is it listed? I don't know. I can't remember. He had this haircut, but apparently that happened because his whole hair used to come up, and they were sitting in a dressing room, and someone just put their hand on his head like that. Boof. And that left the 2 bits up. and the bit pushed down, he looked and he went, hey, that's a good idea. And it was a good idea because they built the rest of their fucking career on it. Again, it's a 4.5/5. I won't be rushing to it, but I don't hate it, apart from the drums, really. 4.5/5. Record number 6. This is what I would call the mother lode. The ever-loving Lulu. This is Brian's Jonestown Massacre with their, I don't know, 10th album or something. It's called My Bloody Underground, which is supposed to be a cross of My Bloody Valentine and Velvet Underground, I would guess, I would think. Now this came out on, you may know this band from the amazing and highly recommend it documentary on them called Dig. If you haven't seen it, go see it, it's fantastic. But that is in no way an endorsement of the band or this fucking record, okay? This came out on their own label. The main man is Anton Newcomb, songwriter, etc. This came out on their own label, and all I've got to say is I'm not fucking surprised it did, because no bastard else would take a chance on this. This is overrated, overlong drivel. I know a lot of you are not going to like that because they think this band are cool. They are not fucking cool at all. They've got cool hats, cool clothes, cool glasses, and a tambourine. The one thing they do not have is any, and I will stress it, I'm going by this album, any fucking songs whatsoever. Every track on here is 10 minutes long. Everything is a fucking raga. It goes on and on and on and on. They're devoid of melody, devoid of tune, devoid of hook, devoid of anything that would make you enjoy music. It's a repetitive loop that goes doing, diddy doing, diddy doing, an acoustic guitar strum. It's like they heard the intro to a Beta Band album and thought, that's what we'll do, without actually bothering to get any of the real meat of what's happening. Overrated doesn't begin to cover it. This is the most overrated fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. There is not, it's a double album. It could have been a single. There is no need for anything to have the lengths that it does. The final track on here, the Black Hole Symphony, is a long, drawn-out, low-level hum that just goes. Fair enough, you want to put that on your record. It's 9 minutes long. What is it saying in 9 minutes that it couldn't say in 90 seconds or 9 seconds for that matter? These guys love themselves. Anton loves himself. Anton's got it all. He's got the looks. He's got the style. But he hasn't got the fucking talent. And he knows it. That's the thing. He knows, deep in his heart, he knows he's fucking useless. And that's why they're all battering each other on stage. Because that's basically what they're good at. This album is a fucking... It's a 1 just because it exists. You're not going to like that, but it's a 1. And I've talked way longer than I should about it. It's fucking drivel from start to end. And I'll give it half a point. That's the worst. I mean, listen to the fucking thing. Yeah, it's that. It's that for an hour. Literally is. Fucking joke. Piss off. Right, there you go. That's a 1. Thank you very much for watching this week. And whatever you did last week to get the views, please, please, please do it again this week. Don't forget there'll be a Spotify playlist above here if you want to hear all this. If you want to hear Brian Jonestown Massacre, then you are insane. If you want to hear all this, it's all there. So yeah, share, like, share, subscribe. Do everything that you can. Help me. Let's take this thing to the start!